Probably this is the first session of its kind that we are organizing in MDI Murshidabad on ethical leadership and learning from Gita. So I welcome you here. और प्रभाकर जी हमारे जो बाकी लोग मित्र हैं दिख रहे हैं, साईं साहब और चीफ सेक्रेटरी जी जो हैं, एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरी श्री लू, वेलकम सर टू MDI मुर्शिदाबाद. श्री लू जो है हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश की सेवा कर रहे हैं और हम जो है बंगाल की सेवा कर रहे हैं.
Welcome to United Consciousness, where one consciousness, one being, is more than just a belief. It's a movement, a global initiative that unites us all in the pursuit of peace, spiritual wisdom, and universal happiness. It's a global mission that's touching life across continents. If you have ever felt the need for connection, spiritual guidance, or just a sense of belonging, you are in the right place. Welcome to United Consciousness. United Consciousness is not just an organization. It's a living, breathing community dedicated to enhance the holistic well-being of over 3 lakh individuals worldwide. Our mission is simple yet profound. One consciousness, one being. We believe that by connecting with our higher selves and each other, we can live lives filled with purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Together, we are building a global community that shares this vision, helping each other unlock our full potential. With the presence in over 100 countries, including Switzerland, Canada, Australia, Japan, etc., United Consciousness is here to help you thrive in this complex world. So why wait? Join us on this transformative journey. Let's create a world where peace and happiness are not just a distant ideal, but a tangible reality we can all experience here and now. I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Dr. A.K. Jain, Director, MDI Murshidabad, working as a Professor of Leadership, Emotional Intelligence and Organization Design, Dean Accreditation and Ranking, Online PGDM and School of Management for Financial Institutions and Management Development Institute, Gurgaon. He has established a Center of Excellence for Indian Thought and Management. Professor Jain is a visiting professor to several international universities including Aarhus University, Denmark, IULM University, Milan, Italy, University of Free State, South Africa, and Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, Ranchi, Bodh Gaya, and Kozhikode. Professor Jain has received an award for extraordinary performance for Aarhus University for his research and publication and from National Academy of Psychology, India. He has also worked as the Director of Institute of Management Studies, Ghaziabad, and received a prestigious award of Most Charismatic Leader in Management Education and Education Post. He has published 72 research articles in high-impact journals, including Journal of Managerial Psychology, International Journal of Hospitality Management, etc. He has research interests in the field of leadership, emotional intelligence, employee voice and silence, psychology, well-being. He has faith in Indian thoughts emanating from Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Tattvavat Sutra, Tipitaka, etc. He believes in traditional Indian knowledge system and practice concepts like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, and Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Professor A.K. I feel excited and honored to welcome Mr. Sai Sambat. Mr. Sai Sambat is a servant of the divine with an unwavering commitment to the experiencing wholeness in oneself and others. His psycho-spiritual evaluation spans 3 decades. In the early 1990s, intense process work over 5 years at the Indian Society for Individual and Societal Development enabled him to dissolve much of psychological conditioning and to embark on a lifelong spiritual journey. His close association with realized spiritual masters has provided him with the gift of non-evaluative and non-judgmental awareness and evolved levels of psycho-spiritual, socio-cultural and ecological coherence. Sai has served as the chairman of the Constitution Committee, Indian Society for Individual and Social Development. He was also engaged in community building and marketing development for bell metal craftsmen in Kerala. Sai's professional expertise encompasses learning architecture, leadership development, knowledge management, and organizational development. Sai has served as the head of knowledge management and leadership development at Pegasus Academy and Consulting. Among other things, he has co-created an organizational cone model for achieving value, culture, strategy alignment and collaboration with the client. He has also developed a robust framework for the assessment and alignment of organizational values. As a leadership development and organizational effectiveness consultant, Sai enables people and organizations to discover innate potential and leverage it towards greater efficacy, excellence in results. He is a graduate in production engineering from NIT Tiruchirappalli and has a master's in HRM and OD from XLRI Jamshedpur. Currently, Sai Sambat serves as a co-founder of Institute of Indic Wisdom. He also serves as a founding member of United Council for Ancient Wisdom. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Sai Sambat. It is a great privilege to welcome Shri L. Venkateshwar Lu, IAS and eminent civil servant of 1991 batch Uttar Pradesh cadre. Currently serving as the Additional Chief Secretary, Samaj Kalyan Vibhag, Government of Uttar Pradesh. A technocrat by training with a BTech in Electrical Engineering and MTech in Systems and Management. Shri Lu is a visionary known for championing social equity, youth empowerment and digital governance. Elevated to the apex scale in 2025, his illustrious career span key roles such as Chief Electoral Officer, District Magistrate Gautam Budh Nagar, Principal Secretary Transport and DG of Disaster Management Academy and Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Vikas Sansthan. His dynamic leadership brought sweeping reforms in transport modernization, road safety, village development, and digital governance. Revered for his ethical service and inspiring public engagement, he continues to motivate aspirants from humble background, truly embodying the spirit of transformative governance with compassion and innovation. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Shri L. Venkateshwar Lu. We are honored to welcome and introduce Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, an internationally recognized scholar, writer and management consultant with an extraordinary commitment to global well-being. Nominated by Civil 20 under G20 as the international coordinator for the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam initiative, he has addressed the United Nations headquarters in Geneva on the International Day of Conscience. In June 2023, he served as the global convener for the World Yoga Summit in Germany and is also the international coordinator for ICCR-nominated Global Conference on the Holistic Yoga Beyond Physiology 2023. He is one of the most sought-after speakers across India. His work has impacted over 3 lakh beneficiaries across 120 countries, including cabinet ministers, bureaucrats, defense, corporate professionals. He convenes United Consciousness Global, aiming to develop the world's first integrated manual for humanity, leads Project Self USA to promote scientific aspects of ancient Indian philosophy, sits on the board of European Yoga Federation in Italy, and oversees spiritual healing in Africa through the Spiritual Council. He additionally founded, with an academic background spanning business management, journalism, public administration, philosophy, and yoga. Dr. Tomar's prolific writing, including Rule the World as Krishna Did, continue to inspire countless individuals worldwide. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar.
Namaskar and welcome to this forum, and where we all are collaborating through Dr. Tomar, and we all were part of this wonderful body, what we call United Consciousness for Indian Wisdom, Ancient Wisdom. We have conceived this in Jaisalmer at Suryagarh Palace, and in the presence of Shri Singh Royal ji, and they have also created another body, what we call United Global Peace Foundation and United Consciousness Global Youth. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Tomar for bringing this opportunity to MDI Murshidabad and all our faculty members, students and staff member. Today we are attending this meeting in MDI Murshidabad campus that is located in Jangipur, and which had been the constituency of our former president Shri Mukherjee ji, who founded this institute in 2014. And in 2025, in the month of April, we had our 10th convocation, wherein the chief guest were Dr. Sukanta Majumdar, who was the Minister of State for Education. So we are very pleased to have you all on this wonderful occasion. And today is also a great day when we are inaugurating the Center for Indian Wisdom and Management at MDI Murshidabad. So with your blessings, we would like to inaugurate this center, and we would like to take your blessing that how MDIM can also perform its duty toward nation, and especially as part of NEP New Education Policy 2020, that we are supposed to also teach to the student. So today's session will be a good orientation session for the students of MDI Murshidabad as well as for the faculty member. So thank you, Dr. Vikrant Tomar ji. Thank you to your organization. We all are part of that. And definitely we look ahead to further contribute in a more active manner. And we own your vision also. And thank you to United Consciousness Global Youth, and thank you to United Global Peace Foundation, and especially Shri Singh Royal ji, chairperson, who is running this wonderful hotel called 5-star Hotel Suryagarh Palace. So next, I would also like to thank my colleague who are part of my center, Dr. Niharika Gan, Dr. Paroma Mitra, Dr. Neha Jain, Dr. Birachi Narayan Swar, Dr. Sunil Giri, Dr. Pinku Paul, Dr. Chetan, Dr. Amrita Sen Gupta, and Dr. Bineet. They are the part of my center, and they are all contributing in organizing this today's inaugural session at MDI Murshidabad. And a brief of United Consciousness about the aims. The mission of United Consciousness for Ancient Wisdom is to revolutionize the corporate world by infusing the ancient wisdom into modern practices, bridging the gap between scriptures and business. We bring positive change, harmony, and sustainability to organization. The vision of United Consciousness is envision a future where ancient wisdom and modern business seamlessly coexist, creating a positive impact on organizations and society through fresh perspective, deep understanding, and integrity. So it's a great mission and vision, and all the students of and faculty member are invited to collaborate with UCAW and help this wonderful platform to grow further. And we also would like to convey our best wishes to Dr. Tomar in carrying this wonderful vision for the country and for the world. Then I would like to quickly introduce the theme of today's panel, that is ethical leadership, and coming from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And this theme, although coming from Gita, but many of us are not probably familiar with the basic knowledge of Gita, that Gita is not a separate book. Rather, it is part of Mahabharata. In Bhishma Parva, this wonderful knowledge is coming from the Bhishma Parva, chapter number 23 to chapter number 40. This great epic Mahabharata is written by Maharshi Vedavyas, and Gita simply means the song of the Lord, and it divides human body into three elements: physical body, the mind, and the soul. And Gita is focusing on the salvation of soul, that how our soul can get free and can easily overcome with the cycle of birth and rebirth. And then the Gita is suggesting three major paths, that is Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. And today the topic is ethical leadership, but I would like to just touch upon what are the sources of unethical leadership. Because first we should know what causes unethical leadership. So I am just using one shlok from Srimad Bhagavad Gita from chapter number 16 and shlok number 21, which goes like this: Tri vidham narkasya dwaram nashanmatmana काम क्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तथा वेद tatrayam tadjati. So that means there are three gates leading to the hell of self-destruction for the soul, that is lust, anger, and greed. Therefore one should abandon all three. Although saying it is easier than doing it, but definitely if we keep practicing, we will at least be better than before. But definitely in my personal life as an administrator also, currently I am the position of director, MDI Murshidabad, and I found that really it is very challenging to control anger, greed, and lust. These all three will come in a big package to any administrator, and how to regulate it required tremendous control over one's sensory organs. How to overcome? Gita further suggests the path to overcome with these three narkasya dwaram, lust, anger, and greed, and they focuses mainly to all of us in the modern world is path of karma yoga or nishkam karma, or understanding the concept of dharma or lok sangrah. That is the subject matter of today's discussion for our panelists, and I am just narrating the most popular shlok of Gita, that is from chapter number 2 and shlok number 47. कर्मण्ये वाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतु भू भ्रमाम ते संगो स्तत्तु कर्मणि. So we all must discharge our duty without getting attached to the fruits of our action. So with these few words, I would like to now invite three great personalities from India, and they all are experts in their respective areas. Dr. Tomar, who has got vast experience and is a traveler to the whole world, running United Consciousness in 112 countries and popularizing Indian wisdom in these countries, and especially the yoga also. So he has vast experience as you can say at global level. Then we have Shri Venkateshwar ji, who is part of the ministries, government, serving my own state, Uttar Pradesh, located in Lucknow, and Lucknow and UP particularly on a path of great success under the current Chief Minister, Mr. Yogi. And before he joined as Chief Minister, we were ranked number 22 or so. Today, UP's economy is ranked number 2 or 3, I think, in GSDP. And I am sure that our Shri Lu Sahab is playing an important role. So how he is benefiting by Gita in discharging his responsibility as a senior bureaucrat. Then we have Shri Sai Sambat ji, man from Kerala, and XLRI graduate, engineer, and he is practicing consultant and solving the corporate problems. So how he is using Gita in solving modern days problem in the corporate world. So these are the background of our three speakers. And first I would like to invite our chief guest, Shri Lu Sahab, to just quickly start with his opening remarks. What is his take from Gita on ethical leadership? So I request Shri Lu to take over.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ajay Jain and all other distinguished guests for today's program. In fact, it was a great idea to have this kind of discussion on our ancient wisdom. See, I was just going through some contents that have been sent to me. The Nishkam karma and ethical leadership and all, in fact, they're all same. Nobody can be ethical without being Nishkam. What is that? That distorts. When you have any selfishness, any ulterior motives, vested interests, when you have something, then automatically you would act very hypocritically. You would say something, do something else. Why does he do such things? Why does anybody indulge in double talk in a very deceptive manner, deceptive action, deceptive language? Why does he adopt these things? Fundamentally, he is not aware of the universal consciousness that is operating. He may gain temporarily, materially, by deceiving the world and deceiving others and indulging malpractices. Somebody who understands, who is exposed to these Gita's philosophy, or this is the ancient wisdom that has been given to the world by our ancient rishis. When somebody exposed to this, automatically there is a self-control. He would not, he knows that whether the world will be able to fix him or not, whether the world will be able to catch him or not, he is under the lens of some superior power which will punish him for doing all this mischief. This world is under the control. The God says, Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganayava. This whole world is permeated by this supreme consciousness in all levels, whether it is a gross level, subtle level, or causal level. When somebody is exposed to this concept, automatically he would become very ethical, pure, sincere. That is the fundamental basis for all social, economic, political, religious, any progress that can happen. They must follow sincerely with full conviction on the truthfulness. That is a fundamental thing. I think in the beginning, I would say this much and stop, and I would hear the other great speakers.
Thank you, sir. And you are touching upon the purity of soul. And I'm sure that truthfulness is part of the soul. And that's a great point. And we now invite Shri Sai Sambat ji, that what is his view on ethical leadership coming from Gita? Quickly, in 2-3 minutes time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Jain. Namaste to the Additional Chief Secretary and to Dr. Tomar. See, I would like to, weave it around a couple of well-known aspects from the Bhagavad Gita. So, as the first panelist said about, and the moderator introduced, Nishkama Karma. So, the idea is how does Nishkama Karma can foster and guide ethical leadership is one of the, that's at the self level. So, I will talk about the self level and the governance level. So, if you look at the self level, Nishkama Karma, when you say, then what is before Nishkama Karma? So I will split it into the Kama part separate and the Karma part separate. So if you take Nishkama, what is prior to that is Sakama. Sakama means that is a desire for personal gain directed to self, which means Raga and Dvesha, likes and dislikes, preferences and non-preferences. There is the Dvaita about it. So from that, when we move to Nishkama, Nishkama essentially means detachment from the desire. It is not the absence of desire, but it is detachment from the desire that is directed to the self. But that desire can be for the greater good, as the first panelist said, greater good, larger good, larger well-being. Without desire, it is very difficult to operate in the world. So we are not talking about the Paramarthika aspect of Bhagavad Gita. We are talking about the Vyavaharika applications of Bhagavad Gita here. So there it means Nishkama essentially starts with going beyond one's own likes and dislikes for the larger group. This is one part of this stuff. So if can I suspend my own needs, my own desires, my own likes and dislikes, and anchor myself, manasa vacha karmana, in the role that I'm playing. If I'm the additional chief secretary social welfare, can I anchor it in that aspect and then keep away my preferences, non-preferences and all that? There comes desire getting attached to a larger entity beyond me. That's the beginning point. Now let's look at the karma part. Now we look at karma. I am not going to the akarma, sakarma, vikarma kind of, I'm not going there. I'm going with our own conception of karma. There are three ways in which we can look at the source of karma. Is the source of karma from avidya? Is the source of karma from dharma? Or is the source of karma from dhyana? So dhyanajam karma, dharmajam karma, avidyajam karma. Jam means emanating from or coming out of. So avidyajam karma is based on selfishness, fear, narrow-mindedness, me versus the other, black versus white, or Brahmin versus something else. It manifests in multiple ways. That is the avidyajam karma, which is anchored on likes and dislikes, again connected to the karma part. Dharmajam karma is when I am doing it for a larger good, including myself. I'm not, diminishing myself, then it's not dharma. I also must be enlivened. I also must be flourishing, and the others must be flourishing. The context must be flourishing. Even planet Earth must be flourishing. But if you take that definition of dharma, I think humanity has really let down the planet and the other species on the planet. So we are not there. And dhyanajam karma is much more. It is what the first panelist said, being connected to the consciousness. In a dhyana kind of state, whatever the consciousness channels through me, that karma is dhyanajam karma. So the shift is from self-centric, selfish karma to more, pluralistic, more altruistic karma, then on to karma that is channeled to me by the consciousness, by the divine. So this is the way I would like to start. Leave it as introductory remarks, then we will leave it to it. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, sir. And it makes a lot of sense. Like you have, in a very short time, introduced the concept of karma, nishkam karma, and the free from raga dvesha is very important. Then detachment, mansa vacha karma, and then different forms of karma. And then you are connecting it with ethical forms of leadership by moving away from selfish action to selfless action. So thank you very much. I request now Dr. Tomar, whom really I admire for his voice, for his overall oratory power. So Dr. Tomar, can we have your views on ethical leadership coming from Gita? And if you would like to touch upon one or two reference shloka also on ethical leadership. Yeah.
So thank you, Jain Sahab. Amazing points raised by Lu Sahab and Sai Sambat ji. Just to add, I would like to go a little bit back to give better context. So all of the students attending here the session, in order to create any impact in any class, you need two, student and teacher. Student, our scripture says, should be kushal labdha. Kushal labdha means very much skilled in receiving. A skilled reception student should have. And a guru should be asharya vakta. Asharya vakta means extremely expert in its explanation. When the guru is asharya vakta and student is kushala labdha, so these are two options needed. But if both of them are not like this, neither guru is asharya vakta nor student is kushal labdha, then what happens is dysfunction in the class. It may also happen that the student is a kushal labdha student, very much skilled in receiving, but the guru is not asharya vakta. Then it leads to disappointment. Third option can be when the guru is asharya vakta, extremely great in explanation, but the student is not good at reception, then it leads to disengagement. Development happens when the guru is Asharyavakta and student is Kushalalabdha, and this is what is happening in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is happening every moment within us. It's not only a book, that's why Adi Shankaracharya brought those 700 verses out so that we can ponder them separately. Otherwise, in 100,000 verses, how will you find Bhagavad Gita? Gita is happening within us every moment. Who are Kauravas? Kauravas are the grand negative narrative. Bhishma is Ahankara. Karna is Asakti. Vikarna is Dvesha. Jayadratha is Abhinivesha. Drona is our wrong habits. We train. Drona is a trainer who can train good or bad habits both. Dhritarashtra. Dhrit means holding. Tight holding. Rashtra means anything which is physical. Whenever anybody holds something which is physical, that person becomes Dhritarashtra, because as Buddha said, all physical things are subject to decay. One fine day you will suffer if you hold something which is physical. Last is Sanjaya, who can see clearly. Sanjaya, Jaya means winning yourself, and Sanjaya means properly. On another side, we have Pandava's grand positive narrative of our life. Yudhishthira is right objective. Bhima is power to execute. Arjuna is focus and precision. Nakul is passion. Sahadev is planning and projection. And where is this whole Kurukshetra happening? So in corporate life also, Dharmashetra, Kurukshetra, Ranakshetra. If your corporate job for you is about ethics, morality, and righteousness, then the same field in corporate will become a Dharmashetra for you. And then, but if the job and whatever you're doing, it is you're doing for your family, for affection, then it becomes a Kurukshetra. But if it is, you are working because you are getting payment, and it's very professional relationship with your job, it's called a Ranakshetra. So in the same place, for Krishna, it is Dharmashetra. For Arjuna, it is Kurukshetra. That's why Arjuna is not able to fight, because he is thinking about his family and all. And for Duryodhana, it is Ranakshetra. And that's why Gita starts, Dharmashetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta Yuyutsava, Mamaka Pandavashava, Kim Kurvat Sanjaya. In this battlefield, for somebody it is Dharmashetra, Kurukshetra, or Ranakshetra. How did within you, your Kauravas and Pandavas are fighting, and who wins that fight? This is the question of life. And this is the basic parameter of Bhagavad Gita. I'll stop. I'll talk further when we go further. It's the basic parameter of Bhagavad
Gita. Thank you so much, Dr. Tomar. And in just, I will say, no time, you have introduced Gita very objectively. And sometime we were thinking only Gita in terms of its history. But you made Gita so simple that it is in our body itself. Every day, Kaurav and Pandavas are fighting with each other, and probably that is Kshetra Kshetragya chapter that also talk about, correct, on that human body, that is where the Kurukshetra, and Kauravas and Pandavas basically our Indriya, and we need to regulate them. And in some way that you are also aligning this thought with the Western thoughts coming from Sigmund Freud, who talks about id, ego, superego, Alfred Adler, Karen Horney, Carl Jung. So in some way, this thought also connects with the Western thoughts also. I am coming on the second question to the panelist, and I request now Chief Secretary Shri Lusab to being in this service for a long time, what kind of role he sees for himself using the concept of Loka Sangraha from Gita. And that is one inspiring thought for all of us, especially in administrative role, or a teacher, or a lawyer, or a doctor, that how you connect ethical leadership with the concept of Lok Sangraha in your job, in your career. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Sir. Yes, Vikrantji has given a very new orientation. That is very creative and very innovative way of expressing the concept of Mahabharata. And the question that you have asked is Lok Sangraha. The Bhagavad Gita says, Karmanaiva samsiddhim astidaha janakadayaha Loka Sangraham eva api sampashyan karma kartum harhasi. It is a dictate, Loka Sangraham eva sampashyan. If somebody who is really seeking is the Shreya, there are two things. One is Shreya and Preya. One is a short-term gain. One is which in fact liberates you, which elevates you, which has a very magnanimous view of life, majestic view of life, spiritual view of life. If you are a spiritual seeker and you are indulging in any activity, the purpose, the main goal of that activity must be Lok Sangraha, means Lok Kalyan, public welfare. That is, as you had explained earlier, there is a self-seeking attitude and you are seeking selfish gain by doing activity, or there is another is you are seeking societal gain. The motivation, the impulsion behind an action. What is it that propels you into action? What is it that drives you into action? If you go and see your inside and you see what is it that is motivating to act, if it is a Lok Kalyan, public welfare, then that becomes, that elevates you. It's called Sansiddhi. There is a spiritual growth, there is a purity that elevates you. If somebody is seeking personal gain, as Vikrant has explained, yes, it might give you some material happiness, and ultimately that material happiness, it will bind you. If a person, any actor, is not connected to the supreme, that is spirituality, he is doomed. He is doomed because of the illusory power of this in the nature. It pulls him down. He cannot retain himself at where he is, and he cannot carry out the activities with the intent of public welfare. So that's why. And one more thing that you have said there, you have explained that there is a 3 levels of action. The Lok Sangraha, in a very general parlance, yes, you would like to do Lok Sangraha and also seeking something for you also. There is a balance in action. You are seeking, at the same time, there is a simple morality that I am doing action, and that should be right action. At the same time, I should get the remuneration for what I do. That is still the dharmic way, that is a reasonable way of living. That higher level, the Bhagavan says, Sakta karmani avidvanso yada kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvan sada asaktaha chikirsu lokasangraham. Sakta karmani avidvanso yada kurvanti bharata. Yes, reversed. Somebody who is highly selfish and he would take a lot of risks and he would plan, there is a tremendous passion to do activity for the selfish gain, and also maybe with ulterior motives, and he might do all sorts of things, but there is a tremendous planning, tremendous energy, and he is using all his powers, both his mental, physical and all. But the purpose is now changed. He is doing with that tremendous activity with a lot of planning and with the depth of involvement. He is using all the powers that are at his hand, and he is seeking public welfare. That's why God says that is a karma yoga. There the karma yoga happens. Karma yoga means, and in fact this can happen only when he is connected to the supreme power. That supreme power he can get connected only when he is linked to these our scriptures. That's why Bhagavan also says, Asraddhadhana purusha dharmasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu sansara vartmani. If he is not connected to that, obviously there is a mrityu sansara which is pulling him down. There are 2 powers which are acting on our psyche. If he is not connected to the supreme power, he will come down. He will go down because he is seeking material happiness. Material happiness, post, position, power, the illusory nature of power, it pulls him down. Another is, if he is connected to the supreme power through the scriptures or through the great seers, that is called Guru. Guru or Shastra. There are only 2 things to take shelter. Whether you are connected in fact, Guru and Shastra both are one only. In fact, who really follows that scripture, who understands, is the Guru. And the scripture and Guru both are one. If he is connected to the scripture or Guru, then he can follow the righteous path. And the righteous path itself gives him tremendous strength. That's why Yogakshemam Vahamyam. That's what, you don't have to seek support or strength from anything. In the very nature, the God has created this universe, and there is a automatic support mechanism. Sahayagya prajasruštva purova cha prajapatihi anena prasayisyadvam yeshavahastu ishtakamadruk. Yedo. This, when a person with the public welfare intent, he contributes for the welfare of the society, welfare of the system, or welfare of the environment, for the betterment of environment, all the divine powers, they are all there in the existence, in the external atmosphere. They would protect you and support you. Evam parasparam bhavayantaha param sreyo avapsat. This is a symbiotic relationship, mutually supportive relationship. And when you contribute for the nature and the society, nature and society would contribute to you. This is a mutual, this is called symbiotic relationship. You contribute for the elevation of the nature and the society, and the society in turn contribute for your elevation. It automatically, in fact, I also experience everyone who is doing all these dharmic activities must be getting that kind of shelter and support. I think I stop here and listen to the other great speakers.
But thank you so much. I think you have covered several points, and in brief, I will say that yes, the same action can be originated with a different kind of motive, maybe altruistic or egoistic motive. But in order to be more altruistic, one has to be a spiritual seeker, and he or she should understand that in the entire world we are all interdependent, and while we are serving others, we are serving ourselves. And the main motto of my Center for Indian Wisdom and Management is borrowed from Tattvar Sutra in Jainism, that is Parasparup Graho Jivanam. So souls are rendering service to one another. So what you said make a lot of sense regarding Lok Sangrah. I will come to Dr. Sai Sambat and would like to ask his opinion, like regarding, we are of course talking about ethical leadership. So although Lok Sangrah I think covered very well by our Chief Secretary Saab, so I would like to take your views, especially from Sai Sambat, regarding what is the code which you see, what is the Gita's code on ethical leadership?
Yeah, so let me join the conversation with Venkateshwar and then segue into what I have to say. The way he described, Loka Sangraha, can say one way we can move calibrated way from Sakama to Nishkama is Loka Sangraha, very clearly. And one way we can move away from selfish and selfish-oriented actions and other things, also is Loka Sangraha. So if I am into, say, Griha Sangraha, that I am only living for my family, like when, say, Valmiki, when he was Ratnakara, he was doing Griha Sangraha kind of stuff. Then when he got the invocation and went into Rama Mantra and whatever, then he got into beyond Loka Sangraha. We can say that. If you look at Loka as a society kind of thing. So the avenue to move out of this is to embrace the largeness, embrace something beyond me, something beyond what I call my family, my siblings, whatever. So I think that he has brought it out. So I will build on that. So if you look at Gita's code of ethical governance, which is what ESG and all is all about. See, it is all about pluralism and multi-dimensionality of stakeholders, multi-dimensionality of metrics, multi-dimensionality of parameters. Anything unitary, binary cannot be dharma. It's very straightforward. If it is only shareholder value, it cannot be dharmic. If it is only shareholder value and customer satisfaction, still it cannot be dharmic. If it is shareholder value, customer satisfaction, stakeholders like other stakeholders, and including ecology, what is the export of all my waste and all my costs onto somebody else? If all that is coming only, we are talking about sustainable organization. So this is very well rooted in Gita. We can't look at Gita independently. So even if you look at either the Jain scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, our scriptures, nothing has been defined as one, except say Brahman or whatever it is. That is anyways beyond the material realm. So whether it's the Buddhist scriptures or the Ashtamarga of the Buddha, Buddhists, or the Yama and Niyama. I mean, why not one Yama and one Niyama? I always thought about it. It is 5 Yamas and 5 Niyamas. So because our reality is complex, our reality is plural. So Gita looks at one, definitely look at the world and engage with the world larger than reductionist methods. That's what the Venkateshwar also said. How do you embrace the larger schema? Then definitely responsibility first, rights later. First what you do, your dharma, putra dharma, bhrata dharma, bhartr dharma, pita dharma, madra dharma, pitra dharma, madra dharma. So it is about dharma first at various levels, even at a role level, familial roles, work roles, and all. So that's another thing which I think we can get, at least I'm not a person I can quote the shlokas and then, but this is some other essence I see. Most important is karma phala tyaga. So when we talked about kama to nishkama, that's one part, and we looked at the different kinds of karmas. But if we can dissociate, detach myself from the bhala of the karma, that is a way I can get away from unethical ways or selfish ways to ethical ways. Now I will also expand. It is not about karma phala tyaga alone. It is karma phala vistaraha. I don't know whether I'm getting the Sanskritam right, but expanding the phalas. So if you are talking about a multi-stakeholder view, then you will have to fulfill the multiple outcomes, not a stakeholder outcome and a customer outcome. You will have to actually create and make available through a balanced and sustainable manner outcomes that are mutually enriching, like a virtuous cycle kind of thing. So balance, pluralism, responsibility, and also dissociating from narrow definitions of outcomes to more holistic and environmentally sustainable definition of outcomes is a way ethical leadership, not only at corporate level, but any governance level is built. I will stop.
Thank you so much. I think and very well said regarding the performance of dharma, the duty, and at various levels. I think whether it's the role of mother or father, or as a senior bureaucrat, or as a teacher. So that is where you can perform selflessly. I would like to go to Dr. Tomar regarding, because I am aware that he is a person who is serving in various capacities. He is also advisor and also the board member in various capacities also, and providing his advisory service also. And based on his experience as a board member, one of the point which generally people are very curious to know, how Gita can be taken from Kurukshetra to boardroom. So sir, what are your views that how Gita can be used in the boardroom? Unmute.
Thank you, Jain sir. It's an amazing question, and I'm glad by chance I'm being chosen to speak in the last, so that I can be benefited with amazing points put before the board. So how to bring this from Kurukshetra to boardrooms? The first word of Bhagavad Gita is dharma. The last word of Bhagavad Gita is mama. So first verse I already narrated when I spoke last. Last verse is Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanadhara, Tatra Shri Vijay Bhuti Durva Niti Mati Mama. So the last word is mama, first word is dharma.
Dharma.
The essence of whole Bhagavad Gita, it is mama dharma. So this is what is most important at the boardrooms, to remember what is your dharma. Because boardrooms are making policies. And then what is dharma? Dharayati iti dharma. Something which sustains everything. It's the natural order of the universe. And that's why we have dharma everywhere as a punchline. Supreme Court of India says its mission is, motto is yato dharmo tata jaya. Wherever dharma is upholded, victory will certainly follow. Dharmo rakshita. If you will uphold the dharma, dharma will uphold you back. And the same dharma, the natural order of the universe, the pan has its own dharma. If I leave it, it will fall down. It means gravity pulls down. It's dharma, natural order. So dharma in physical order is called physics. Dharma of my cell, I read it in biology. Dharma of the planets is called cosmology. This way, dharma in social order is called ethics. That's where ethics comes with dharma. So when we say ethical leadership, what is ethics? Dharma in social order. And then there are three dharmas in social order. One is Samanya Dharma, second is Vishishta Dharma, third is Guna Dharma. Samanya Dharma is called ethics, Vishishta Dharma is called morality, Guna Dharma is called character. So when Saiji was talking about Raj Dharma and different dharmas, where do they fall? Samanya Dharma is applicable to all, at all the times, at all the places. It's like preamble of India. It's like Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. You can't argue on this. That's correct. Love people, dignity of individuals. It is Samanya Dharma applicable to all, at all the times, at all the places. Second is called Vishishta Dharma. Vishishta Dharma is applied on you. It is context specific. Till you are in that role, like Raj Dharma, like Guru Dharma, like Pati Dharma, Patni Dharma. So Pitra Dharma. So they are till you are in that role. So in the corporates, we need to follow. Whenever we are in that particular role, we need to follow the SOPs of that role. We need to follow those Civil Services Act code from there. But while following Vishishta Dharma, I need to assure that I should also follow Samanya Dharma, because Samanya Dharma can never be overlooked. And when I live my life in following Dharma, so last is Guna Dharma, just it's individual's character. That's why it's called Guna Dharma. So it's individual character. So Samanya, Vishishta and Guna Dharma. When I lead my life following Samanya Dharma, Vishishta Dharma and Guna Dharma together, Krishna says you are living your life Swadharma. Arjun, uphold your Swadharma. Why should you live your life as Swadharma? Because Hatova Praptisi Swargam Jitva Bhokshase Mahim Tasmat Uttishta Konteya Yuddhaya Krit Nishaya. When you walk on the path of your Swadharma, when you are ethically correct, morally high, and when you are living your life, you are doing a job which is in line with your character, in line with your personality, then what happens is, Hatova Prapasi Sarvam, even if you don't do much good, you'll be happy. It means you will be happily unsuccessful. Even if you don't do good well, you'll be happy. You'll be happily unsuccessful. And second, Jitva Bhokshase Mahim, or you'll be happily successful. It means your happiness is granted for sure. And that's why Tatsmat Uttishta Konteya, that's why get up, O son of Kunti. Don't worry, you have nothing to lose if you're following your Swadharma. And this is what has to be brought into organizational practices by the boardrooms. Let everybody uphold the Swadharma. Life will become, as they say, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. So life goes so over. Thank you.
I think you made things so easy. Even the students from primary class now can understand what is dharma. Just row your boat, but this is now the boat of life, and which is very difficult, and especially since you are also talking to the students, and probably in the recent past, you might be hearing many such news where students decided to just, leave this word. And when you talk about dharma, samanya, vishishta or good dharma or swadharma, This is very important concept because sometimes we are focusing too much on the outcome and we get attached to those outcomes so much, then we forget all dharma, whether swadharma, good dharma, whatever. And at this point, the world is at crisis. You can see now what is also going on in the global level. It's really bad what America is doing to India is really, really bad. And probably they also need to be taught some lessons of Gita regarding ethical leadership. Trump need to be taught also this thing. But now I'm coming to the Chief Secretary Saab, and especially he has a vast experience, and Gita is also an amazing source of wisdom and sense infinitive. And I don't have any time period for Gita because that is what Krishna says. It is coming from Surya and Manu and all this, correct? So how and where can he quote? Because we have a student body and generally they understand things better from the case and life experience. Where, sir, you have used Gita, especially how you handled any crisis of your life using Gita, by using Gita. Any quick example from your life?
I cannot give you so quick example, but simple. I can give you the context because we deal with there is the political leadership, media, and there are the various people. When we are working I worked as a DM, worked as a commissioner, in various. When you hold different posts which can give benefit to some, there is also discretion. When we have decided in many cases when the people are quarreling, or it can be any dispute on any property. If there is any property matter, and the two parties are disputing, then you are a judge. You are to decide whoever is on the right track. And every person, because the nature of the political system is everybody has some caste, there is some political orientation, and he has got some association with the political leadership. That's why, whether you like it or not, in a democracy, you will get a lot of pressures, pushes, pressures. There are various influences that happen on you. So, and if you are thinking that, yes, by delivering justice in a particular situation, if I am seeking something, or if I am feeling frightened by some forces, some powers, so I am seeking safety and security for this post, position and all, or personal gain. Obviously, I cannot hold on to dharma. That's what that Vikrant was saying, because it is a yuddha. Yuddha is, यहाँ पर real संग्राम है. That means there is a risk to you. Means you would lose something. Whether you would lose or not, that is a different thing. It means you would lose the post, you would lose the somebody else's the protection, or some kind of cordial relations with some power, somebody who can exert pressure. Are you seeking his blessings or his support, or you are seeking support from somewhere else? If you are not connected to the supreme power, then to that extent you will become weak. The right to that Sai Sambat sir, he is a great exponent. He has explained a lot of principles also. This ultimately, if you have the strong belief in the God, and also Hatova propsesi swargam. Hato means it is not that whether you fail means you hurt also, you get hurt. In fact, Hato is also means you may even die also. That is ultimate sacrifice that one has to do. All our freedom fighters, they have derived strength from these great scriptures. They were willing to lay down their life. That is the ultimate sacrifice. In that yuddha, in fact, this is taught, Bhagavad Gita is taught it was taught in the battlefield. It was urging people to fight for dharma. There are people who are fighting for adharma also. There are people who die on the side of dharma also. There are people who die on the side of, means there are people who would lose something personally, who are fighting for the dharma also and adharma also. That's why I said, sakta karmana vidvanso yada kurvanti bharata. The person, suppose there is a thief, he is trying to, yes, cheat something. You would like to gain by doing robbery or dacoity, there is also risk involved. He may be caught in that scuffle, he may die, police might catch him, put him behind bars and all. Similarly, for when you are doing right thing also, in some certain circumstances, because the society is not moral, the political power, various power in fact, the power in fact there is a saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The power is distributed in the democracy. All those people who are powerful, they are not really, if everybody is honest, our country would not be there so back in the honesty index. In fact, there are so many people who are not honest, and they are indulging in a lot of the ulterior motives and with kind of a lot of bad intentions. So the basic thing is, do you have that kind of courage? Do you have that kind of strength? You derive that strength. Hato va prapsasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim. Then tatmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanichaya. There is a strong conviction that this is my fight. This is for holding this dharma. That's why this old world, there is a natural order that was explained by our previous speakers. There is a natural order. It was established by God. And it is your test whether you should not think in terms of getting something for you, losing or gaining a selfishness, then you cannot follow karma yoga. Buddhi yukta hi jahati ube sukruta duskrute. Tasmat yoga yujjasva yoga karma sukhaushalam. That excellent action that can happen, that dharmic action can happen, only you do not bother this action, whether that would give you benefit or that would cause you loss. Whoever is all the time concerned about his selfish gain, he cannot follow the path of yoga, that is karma yoga. That's why he has to focus on doing lok sangraha or doing something good for the society or environment. In that, he might risk something, he might lose also, or sometimes he might gain also. It's not necessary that all the time, all the person, everyone that is doing good would always lose. It's not necessary. The democracy, in fact, the God's blessings also would happen. God's blessings also would come into the effect. That's why this whole, but certainly in a very short term, it might appear you are losing. But in the long run, you would always gain, because the yato dharma tato jaya. In fact, the person who is following the truth must always win, should win. That is Satyameva Jayase. Whether Jainism says, Buddhism says, anyism says for that matter, the Bhagavad Gita talks about universal order. That is the universal principle that is governing the universe. Since it is explained, in fact, it must be there in all scriptures, because the God is not confined to only India, he is confined to the whole universe. That is the universal order. Any saint for that matter, who visualizes the supreme natural laws, the subtlest the principles, you will come to the same conclusion as was given in the Gita. That's why whoever spreads this knowledge of Gita, Bhagavan says, he is the great benefactor. In fact, he is the person who is doing the most benevolent work. If anybody asks what is the most benevolent work, he says, whoever understands the knowledge of Gita and spreads that knowledge, he is the person who is doing the most noblest work. Nasya tasmat manushyesu kachit me priyakrittamaha pavita nachame tasmat anyo priyataro bhuvihi. God declares, he is the person who is doing the most wonderful work. That is he is most beloved for the Lord, he says. That's why you're all great people. Mr. Jain Saab and Vikrant is doing a wonderful job, and Sambat sir is contributing to this. And all the people who are listening to it also, the talking of Gita's concepts are listening to it, it all elevates people. It is the only way that can reform, that can bring the ethical order in the existence. I think I would stop here.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you made the very good point that doesn't matter in whatever job you are, but definitely we face a lot of pressure, a lot of stress also in discharging our duties in whatever role we are performing, whether it may be the role of a homemaker also. She also faces a lot of challenges. But good thing is that Gita gives you some kind of internal strength, the resource, which helps us to handle the pressure in our daily life. So that's a very, very important point for all of us, especially to the students also who are attending this session. I'm coming to Sai Sambat and quickly asking the similar type of question based on your personal experience during the consultancy. Which particular theme or particular framework of Gita you have used to solve one of the corporate problem for which you receive really good feedback also from your client?
Yeah. So, Jain sir, that will be a difficult thing to pin it down to Gita alone. So, because
Yeah.
one doesn't, just refer to Gita and go about these things. So, let me, I mean, of course, when I work with them, probably they have gone far beyond that. So, let me give an example. I'll go back to what Venkateshwar ji said in the beginning. See, what happens when you are aligned to, say, the universal energy, universal consciousness. So if you look at that, I worked with Arvindai Hospital. So when you look at the way it started and, the way Dr. V and those of you can, I think it's called Infinite Vision. There is a video of it. You can look it up. It is Arvindai Hospital is inspired by Shri Aurobindo. That's why it's called Arvindai Hospital. So if you look at what, prevent needless blindness, very, very simple statement. And if you go to Madurai only, you will understand the kind of people from all over the world who come there to see frugal innovation, what you call process re-engineering. It is unbelievable stuff. And there are, young girls who are just about +2 kind of girls who are brought in and then trained to be the nursing assistants. And it's a self-managed team. So, for example, when an operation is going on, there is a special expert, ophthalmologic surgeon is sitting in his OPD. This young girl will walk out there and say, doctor, please, you'll have to stop this. You come over, finish this part of the surgery and go back. They are that empowered. So what I'm saying is, in terms of how a culture of, culture of mutuality, abundance, empowerment is a very, very shoddy word, but unfortunately that's the word which is coming to me. But in terms of purely because it's based on consciousness. So there, if you see, it is not going by Nara Icha, it is going by Hari Icha. This is one significant thing. Whether we are talking about moving from Sakama to Nishkama, moving from Avidyajam Karma to Dharmajam Karma to Dhyanajam Karma, it's all about tuning away from Swecha and Nara Icha to Hari Icha. So that also what Venkateshwar also alluded to. So either through a set of principles, like the Nirguna Marga means, okay, let me hold on to Satyam, Dharmam, whatever, the set of things. Then I am that aspects of the Nirguna, I am, those gunas, if I follow, that Nirguna protection, that Nirguna channeling, that Nirguna benevolence come to me. In fact, during COVID, a lot of people shut down their shops. They couldn't pay their staff. When somebody went to Arvind, they said, without blinking, and he said, we can pay all our staff for 20 years without earning a single penny from now onwards. So it's a different kind of, you look at consciousness-based organization, the economics are different, the costing methods are different, everything is different. But it is for somebody to, be tuned into that. For example, they went and studied McDonald's, outlets to reconfigure how surgery is done. Of course, now that principle is used in cardiac surgery, multiple hospitals across the globe. So I think one is this, when consciousness flows through us, whether it is Dr. V or like Srinivasan Ramanujan as a mathematician, it flows and does wonders. Only thing we have to be the patra, sat patra to receive it. And if it's an organization, then organization itself has to be a receptive so that marvelous things can flow in. I don't know whether I'm clearly answering that. I mean, I'm not going into my personal thing, but this is an organization I worked recently, a year ago or 2 years ago, and it is just unbelievable when you go there. You have to simply experience to believe what's going on.
Very good, I think. Makes sense, sir. Makes sense. So you are really sure that, yes, of course, Gita has practical value and it should have rather. But only thing that we are trying to understand from your experiences, I'm coming to Dr. Tomar just to save time, because the overall goal of UCAW, especially regarding this today's session, is you are aiming, Dr. Tomar, to connect ancient Indian wisdom with ESG, that is current framework. So taking the clue from your own aim for UCAW regarding this series of ESG lectures, which you are conducting in various institutions, including universities, IIMs, IITs, and we are just one of the hosts today. How a self-sustaining leader can create self-sustaining organization. Self-realized leader can create self-sustaining organization.
So, Jain sir, very quickly, very good question you asked. So when you say a self-sustaining leader, as I already mentioned in the last point, that something that sustains everything is called dharma. So I may say that a dharmic leader can create a dharmic organization, an organization which will sustain. So a leader, wherever he is working, private or government, need to ask 5 questions before he takes a decision. First, whether my intentions are pure. Second, what is in the larger interest, not only in my selfish interest. Third, what will create long-term benefits? Right now, I'm liking it, that's why I'm doing it. But what will be, up to my understanding, beneficial in the long run? Fourth, if whatever I'm doing today, if it is that right, and everybody in this same situation should do the same thing, then all 8 billion people of the world should start doing it. So fourth question is, it is sustainable. If everybody does it, will world sustain? And last is fifth, acceptable. If anybody does the same thing to me, will I like it? Pure intent, larger interest, long-term benefit, sustainable and acceptable. Whenever any decision will be backed by these 5 points, then that decision will be dharmic, correct. And when leaders take such sustainable decisions, sustainability upholds in organization. And quickly, I will say about the Lok Sangraha part. Why we need to do Lok Sangraha? Because when I say, many times we hear from Gen Z, it is my life, ye meri life hai. It's not our life. There are 5 yajnas that we need to do because there are 5 debts upon us. And debt means like we are breathing this air. It is a debt upon us, is it not? Other than that, and then that Deva Yajna we need to do because I'm using this air. Pitra Yajna, even a donkey's offspring learns how to walk in 15 days. Human, our offspring needs 365 days to learn how to walk. So our parents contributed a lot in making us what we are today. And that's why we need to do Pitra Yajna. Then teachers who taught us, otherwise we wouldn't have been talking so nice right now. Guru Yajna. 5th is Manushya Yajna. So many people contributed. 4th is, and 5th is Baliveshwa Yajna, this biosphere. I need to contribute back. People who contribute. So if people who contribute only 25% and take 75%, they are called culprits. People who contribute 50% and take 50%, they are called consumers. And people who contribute between 50 to 75% in the society, they are called contributors. And if any society will have more than 75% people, 75 to 100% people who contribute back more than they take, they are called custodians. So a society where there are more custodians than consumers will certainly be a sustainable society. Over. So I think because we need to take
No, very, very well explained. And you have got this, I will say, the command how to make the concept simple and useful, even to person who are not well aware of the field, especially like Gita. And when you ended up with custodian word, it has been reminded to me the concept of trusteeship by Gandhi, that even a businessman is a trustee. And he is just having better ability or competency to run the business, but he has to give back to the society. He's not the owner, rather he is a trustee. So thank you very much. I think it has made the point very simple and useful for us. Quickly, because we are running short of time, I would like to request especially our students who are attending this session, if they have any question, and quick and very straight without putting any context to our speaker, then please ask. One or two good questions I invite from the students. Any student, please raise your hand, and we can also use this technology QR code, and you can quickly use and ask question by using this QR code here.
When you scan this QR code, you'll get an option here. Go down, you'll get an option of question and answer. You can write questions also, and who wrote the question will never be revealed, because there is no
Okay.
technology for this. So it can be anonymous questions. Keep asking. And people want to ask questions loud, they can ask loud also using Zoom platform also.
Yeah. So students, do you want to ask question? We have some time, at least 10 minutes we should spend. Yeah. Raise hand. Yeah, Akul. Akul, you are raising hand. Please go ahead. First, please switch on your camera and then ask question. Yeah, Akul, go ahead.
Very good evening, sir. So the question I want to ask to you is there any difference between dharma and truth? Like when we live the way of dharma, are we living the way of truth, or is there a difference?
Okay, very good question. So dharma or satya, the difference. So I will request Shri Lusab, quick comment in 1 minute.
Yeah.
What
There
is
is
the
no
difference
in
between
fact,
dharma or satya? Yeah.
Dharmanadusara Satya Samana Agamanigam Purana Bakana. This is the quotation from the Ramcharitamanas. Dharmanadusara Satya Samana Agamanigam Purana Bakana. It was enumerated, delineated very lucidly in all our scriptures. You cannot have any dharma without truthfulness. Truthfulness is the foundation. In fact, the Mahatma Gandhi said, truth, in fact, that itself is Isvara. Sat, Satyam, Satyam Jnana Anantam Brahma. Satya, Jnana, Anant. In fact, if you go into the very deeper into that, in fact, the Satya means in the sense of goodness and in the sense of reality, the Satya is used. In the Gita itself also says, Sadbhave, Sadhubhavesha Sthitihi Sat iti etat prayujyate. Sat means the Sat word used in the sense of goodness. Sadhubhav is goodness in contributing to the environment, environmentally sustainability and all. All this can happen only when a person is pursuing the truth. The person who ever pursuing the truth, he cannot pursue his selfish gain, short-term gain, and a very partial sectarian thing. He has to be very holistic and very long-term. And you should be concerned about the totality of existence. Only then that can be truthful, right?
Very good, Bhate. Akul, there is a very nice story in Mahabharata of Dharma Vyad and Rishi Kaushik. Worth listening. There is a full Gita called the Vyad Gita. He was cutting the animal, and then he has given the full idea of Dharma and Satya. So any other next? Here we have got question. Yeah. What are the best practices Gita for an MBA graduate during studies and once they become manager? I think I request Sai Saab, because he also a graduate from XLRI and now using spiritual wisdom in his work. So Shri Sai Saab, would you like to quickly respond to this question? Yeah.
Yeah, I will stick to meta stuff as far as this is concerned. See, for example, Gita, we can say Gita got channeled, Gita got descended, not in the Kaurava camp, not in the Pandava camp, right in the middle when somebody chose to move away from the immediacy of the situation, take a kind of a Sakshi position, then only Gita could come. If I don't think if Arjuna stood where he initially stood, not going into the center of the battlefield, looking at both sides, I started asking questions, Gita would not have come. So this is one thing, is how do we detach from the immediacy of things and then move into a vantage point, look at things more holistically, more with a kind of you can say the the panoramic kind of a lens. I think that's one thing. That is detaching from oneself and detaching from the immediacy of what the results are, outcomes are. That's one part. Second is not getting completely into a dogmatic position about anything. See, for example, if you say that, I think at least MBA institutions have moved beyond that, academic success, come what may kind of thing. People flounder after they may get the, they might be the top ranker, but may end up not getting a good placement at the end of the day. So I think what it means to be more wholesome, what it means to be more multidimensional, what it means to look at the context and then arrive at a contextually relevant things. See, for example, if a set of miscreants are chasing somebody and you know where that the victim is hiding, and because you want to be Satya and you tell that that person is hiding there, and if that person gets harmed, then that Satya is only dogma. It is not an uplifting. I mean, because it's gone against dharma of protecting the the victim or the protecting the persecuted. So I think so essentially it is contextual, but in a context, if you have to take a very balanced view, this thing, you have to take a middle position, you have to take a vantage position, disconnect yourself, dissociate yourself. We talk about suspending oneself in dialogue. Suspend our beliefs, suspend our dogmas, then the wisdom of Gita will flow to us and we will be able to take, then Gita will be a living channel for us to take dharmic decisions. That's the way I would like to put it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. One question is here, but how to focus like what Gita says, and Dr. Tomar, especially because I know about your past background. You had been like wonderful on all Indian Puranas, Upanishad, etc. And I recommend my students and faculty member to please listen him on YouTube. He has put tons of videos on Upanishad and Purana. Lots of learnings are available. But before I ask Dr. Tomar, I have my PhD scholar whom I taught in MDI Gurgaon, Chhavi Tiwari. She is raising hand and I would like to give one opportunity to her. Chhavi, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. It's a wonderful session and very grateful for you to organize such a session. So my question is that for us, when I say us, I mean Indians, Mahabharata is Itihas Puran. It is our history, so we don't doubt it. But so many decades of colonization has wrapped it under the cover of mythology, and mythology emanates from myth. But so my question is, how do we confidently quote and use our Itihas Puran and gain Western acceptance for everything that this beautiful literature teaches us?
I think who can be better than Dr. Tomar, because his actions, his behavior, his contribution is already accepted in 112 countries. He is already contributing. So I request Dr. Tomar to respond on this question, that how we can get acceptance for our own ancient wisdom and literature. Yes.
Chavi, what you asked is amazing. This is a question that has been asked in many of the countries and continents. Look, in the deepest order of meditation, whatever saints and seers received, whenever they expressed whatever they received, is called Vedas. Vedas, the Jnana Kanda of Vedas is called Upanishads. So it is the essence of all Vedas. All knowledge, the Jnana Kanda of Veda is Upanishads. Because Karma Kanda is time-bound. When time will change, practices will change. But Jnana Kanda is eternal. Like, for example, even 5,000 years back, there were three struggles in the world. Man versus man, man versus nature, man versus within. Adi Bhautik, Adi Atmik, Adi Devik. And still there are three struggles. Man versus man, Adi Bhautik, man versus within, Adi Atmik, man versus nature, Adi Devik. The struggles are same. And that's why Jnana Kanda will not change. So Upanishads are the Jnana Kanda of Vedas. This Upanishads, when Vedas were taught to many, then what happened is, when rishis taught it further, then there were many people who received it and they codified it for simple understandings. And in brief, they are called sutras, Yoga Sutra, Dharma Sutra. They are codified. So when you say E equals to MC square, In order to understand this, you need to know what is E, and E is not alphabet here. So it is not for everybody. Third is, but those sutras has to be elaborated further for common understanding. It's coding, decoding. That is called bhashyas. So there were exponents who decodified those that's called commentators. But whenever people read those bhashyas, and whenever even people were exposed to Vedas, they were, out of those learnings, there are certain things that they remembered. Like, for example, after this session, if somebody will ask you what Dr. Tomar said, you will speak out of your memory. That is called smrati. But in order to understand these difficult components, we need some live examples. They are called itihasas. Itihasas means something which happened. Iti means this, hasa happened. So they may be glorified a little bit, but everybody does it for our parents, don't we do? So they are called itihasas. But then in order to make a small child understand this, those values will take forms. Like negative values will become demons, good values will become devatas, and that is called Puranas. Puranas are those stories so that everybody can connect with it. So that's why even a small child will understand the stories of Puranas. So what is the ladder? First, for small child at our household, narrate them the stories of Puranas. Purana means Pura api Nava. It is old but still relevant today if you take the essence of it. Don't go line by line of Puranas. It will confuse you. Like, for example, if a 2-year child will ask you, what is sun? You won't go and start explaining nuclear fission and fusion process because the child is not eligible. And that's why Puranas is for everybody irrespective of eligibility. Once you pick up, then leave Puranas, go for Itihasas. Itihasas, they will see how they lived Dharma. Because otherwise people will say, no, they are theories. Nobody can live it. Itihasas, see how the Sikh masters lived their life, Dharma. And then go further. After you understood, you have seen it, then your interest will go further. Oh my God, how did they live it? What were the core of their essence? From where they will taking this strength? They were deriving this. Then go for further bhashyas. And once you learn the bhashyas, then go for sutras. And from sutras, pick Upanishads. So when you say, how can we strongly quote? Yes, we strongly quote Upanishads. They are not time bound. And in order to explain Upanishads, we may take some stories from Puranas, but those are only indicators. Don't look at the finger, look at the star I'm showing. But some people who will stuck at the finger, they are creating a mistake. So we quote it confidently because they are not time bound, eternal. I don't know if I have answered it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I will ask quickly to Shri Lu that, especially since he is a man who has also been, seen difficulties, I am very sure, as an IAS officer. And because to make it simple, because we would also like to know, like, where to begin to read Gita and how to take interest in Gita. It is not just one of the session and then it is over. We need your guidance, like, because you are also a professional person, where you started reading Gita and how students should also follow this path.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I was wondering about one, how is it relevant for the students? See, I would just say very specifically, because a lot of students are watching this. See, for any knowledge to gain, it requires the restraint on the senses. Any person who is indulging cannot gain knowledge. God has explained in the scripture, it was explained very clearly, the person who is pleasure seeking. That's why for the students, anybody for that matter, whoever wants to seek, learn, they must have some kind of the regulation of diet. Discipline is very essential. The person who does not follow the discipline, whether it is a food discipline, sleeping discipline, exercises discipline, all life must be regulated. And there are many people who would offer them very good advices. Whoever is doing manmani, means what one likes. That's why there is a tremendous degradation here in the schools, colleges, and all. The people, instead of seeking learning, going after the learning, they are running after the some kind of pleasures, and there will be you wasting a lot of energy, a lot of time and energy in the internet and the mobile on a lot of useless things. In fact, there is the sensual pleasure, this sexual instincts. Whoever is raking up. That's why the brahmacharya, that is the for the learning, there must be a tremendous restraint. So that's why the indulgences and all these are basic things. I think the students are they capable enough to understand beyond. You can further pursue and understand these things. Where shall we begin? There are a lot of people who have written the Bhagavad Gita in more simple languages, and it is in at a very cheaper rates. Gorakhpur Press, the Gita Press, the name itself is Gita Press.
Gita Press, yes.
So they are very subsidized rate. They are making Gita books available, and it is not very big also. There are very small editions also, simple editions. See, I am also basically I did BTech from BTech and MTech, and I first, luckily with the God's grace, when I was posted as a collector in Uttarakasi, that is in Uttaranchal, there I came across the lot of rishis, lot of saints. When I had interaction with them, earlier I used to think that all that this ancient scriptures and all, they are not relevant for today. They have written thousands of years back. How can they be relevant today and all? When I have gone there, as Vikrant has explained wonderfully, but there are something which are timeless, universal. There are very subtle principles. There are a lot of other things also which may not be as relevant today. The examples and all the context and all. But those principles, they can be contextualized today. See what Patanjali Rishi has spoken about the Yoga Sutras, they will remain forever. And the Bhagavad Gita, it will remain forever because it deals with the very subtle principles, which deals with Sattva, Raja, Tama, Adidaiva, Adibhuti, Kandali was explaining. The fundamental principles, like the body, medicine, medical knowledge, anatomy, it will not undergo a change. Thousands of years back, whoever has studied the medical anatomy, it is true today also. In fact, the biological process, all the biochemistry, all these biology, respiratory system, digestive system, all those systems that are there, in the environment also, what are the constants and all, they will remain the same. So that somebody has to understand those principles. These eternal principles, whoever is seeking happiness, whoever is seeking the sustainability of the universe, in fact, it will flourish. This whole existence will be very happy if people understand these eternal principles. Urdhamulam adachakam aswadham prahuravyam chandam yasya paranani yastam veda saveda with. In fact, God has explained those the principles, assuming that the God is the root, is the base for the whole existence, and the tree called the samsara, this material universe, it is sustained. It can flourish when it gets linked. The root is the supreme consciousness. Whether it is a individual, an organization, or society, if it is bereft of those supreme consciousness, it is not connected to it, it has to decay. It has to deteriorate. It has to die of its own. That is a lower order. That's why whoever follows those roots, that's why you have to cater to the roots so that the tree grows, prospers, and it will blossoms. That's why there are the fundamental principles. That's why when you read wherever you like, the Gita is full of the eternal knowledge. All Upanishads, that's why the Gita is called, it is the Upanishads are considered as cows, and the Gita is an essence, is like a milk. Everybody cannot grow a cow for milk. You can easily get the milk from outside. That's why the Bhagavan, Vyas, and the all ancient rishis and also freedom fighters, they have Yes, they got that sustain the spirit, that the inspiration all from the Gita, and we believe very strongly there will be a time when Gita will be declared the universal constitution of the subtle consciousness, because it is universal. It is only a matter of time when people will realize it. The sooner they realize, the sooner the world will become a better place. In fact, our concept is Vasudhaiva Kutumbam, Vasudhaiva Kutumbam Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. In fact, whoever has these benevolent ideas, only that fellow in real lead the noblest life, and he can do the maximum contribution to the existence.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. And we are now reaching to the closing time. Rather, we have crossed our time. So, in the interest of time, I will request Mohsin if he would like to collect the quick feedback from the student and the participant using the QR code. And last comment I would like to have from Vikrant ji, although we have like several questions because I am sitting with my colleague, I wish we had an opportunity to interact with my colleague also, and they also have questions. But due to the paucity of time, we are directly collecting the feedback from the student and anybody else also. He can use the QR code. Probably we will be using some QR code for this also. Yeah, it is a QR code, and just scan it and provide some learning which you had from this session, especially from the students and anybody else from the faculty member also.
He's telling something, ask him to unmute. He's saying something. Vikrantji.
Unmute, okay, but unmute will be
Okay,
done
you
by-
can just scan the QR code and please write whatever you want to say in this and submit it. And meanwhile, till they do it, Hargun has asked us question about apat dharma, exceptional
Correct.
dharma. So Hargun, just like in Indian Constitution, we have emergency. That what will be the emergency protocol? Similarly, and it is also a part of Vishishta Dharma. So Vishishta Dharma also has a Apata Dharma as a part of it. Because when emergency happens, what are you supposed to do in that context? So this is a quick answer to that question. Hope that answers. Okay, so people have started writing it. Just write and submit. What was your key takeaway from today's session? That's amazing. Keep writing and submit it. Everybody may do it.
And by the meanwhile, I think in the last, we had also planned the national anthem, and we have to please rise for the national anthem so that meanwhile other people can keep providing the feedback. We will keep it on.
Yes,
Mohsin, are you going to play the national anthem, or we should sing on our own?
Jain sir will follow you for national anthem. You sing and we follow.
Okay, okay.
And there is one more question.
अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. So before I finish this, at least one comment, because the students are giving feedback. One of the faculty member, if you would like to say, because we have got 18 colleagues sitting here. So if they want to say anything, who would like to take this up? Professor Neha.
Good evening, sir. I have a question for Vikrant, sir. You told about a dharmic leader can sustain the organization based on the 5 things: intentions and long-term benefits, sustainable, acceptable. So in the first place, what I feel is the dharmic leader, if he wants to do it, he is not accepted. He is rather hated. That I feel happens a lot. So it is not a failure on his part, but it happens because he becomes the custodian actually. And there are many culprits around and they don't want him to sustain the organization. So in that case, what should be done so that he can still continue to be an effective leader and he can manage his organization, institution, and the teams around? Thank you.
Thank you for asking this question. When we say a dharmic leader, it is important. Our scriptures talk about both things are important, Shastras and Shastras. Shastras will help us to decide what is right, and Shastras will help us to remain empowered. Without strong position power, you can, without samarthya, without shakti, you cannot establish righteousness. And that's why both things are equally important. As a leader, we need to strengthen our position power. And once the position power we have, then utilize the same dharma in establishing what is right. This is one. Second is, when if dharma is followed properly, then you'll find many people supporting you. Yes, there may be some people who are adharmic in nature and who would choose to oppose. But as Lusab also said, that finally it is the dharma that wins. Look what happened is, during Mughal rules, Mughals really did all possible atrocities in the books against Sikh gurus. They were dharmic in their conduct and Mughals put all those atrocities. What is happening today? See, today when we are talking, every place where gurus sat, there is a gurudwara. In Canada, they are making governments. And what happened to the descendants of Mughal today? Nobody even remember. They are doing some rickshaw and some other work somewhere else. So at the end, it is the dharma that wins. So whenever we fight, we can't fight with a myopic view that only today. It may take some time, and history always does justice. Whatever we did will be evaluated in times to come. So I said three things. First, empower yourself. Shastras and Shastras together. Second, when you follow dharma, majority of the people comes with you. There will be some people who are against you. But then in the end, it is the dharma that wins. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So
I also would like to take this opportunity to thank Jain Saab for having such initiation over here. We are so happy that you are starting Center for Indian Knowledge, Indian Wisdom. So we are so happy and we wish good luck for MDI to again raise this flag of nationalism, flag of dharma, flag of righteousness in such a beautiful land of Bengal, where once upon a time, Lusab knows that the history of India used to be the history of Bengal. We have seen so many role models from Bengal. I'm sure many more to come. Thank you very much, Lusab, for taking out time today. Thank you very much, Saiji. Thank you very much, Jain Saab. It is so nice that our family has grown up together and it has become bigger with such bright students.